This section of the project is for Tyendinaga Township in Hastings County. Once the file is loaded from your Google Drive and pulled into Google Sheets, this is what the data will appear like at first glance. The first step is to separate the data into columns. Click on the letter tape here, selecting column A. Click on Data. To the bottom, split text to columns. And the data is now in its own column. In order to spread the data out for better readability, we'll left-click here and drag across the columns that contain data. Right-click and resize columns. Be sure you check the button that says Fit to Data and click OK. And now the data is more readable in its own column. Because this is the first page for Tyendinaga Township, there is additional information here beyond what we actually need to extract from the page. One piece of vital information is the actual page from the original document. It's shown here as page 429. We're going to add page 429 to our spreadsheet. If we hold on to this square button and drag down, it will allow us to add that page to all of the records in this data set. Now, as I said, not all of this data is useful to us. From record 1, I'm holding down the Shift key with my left hand, down to record 25. This is more explanatory data. We're not going to include that. So having selected those first 25 records, I will right-click and left-click on Delete Rows 1 to 25. And now we're left with the actual data we want to extract for our index. Again, for better readability, we can move these columns closer so they don't take up quite so much room. Now, as you can see here, we have surnames in the first column, column A. Column B, we have given names. Column C, we have occupations. Columns D, E, and F, we have location information spread across 3 columns. We will need to join these. And in this column, column H, we have the pages. The first step is to check the accuracy of the information that we have extracted so far. Looking down this list and checking it against the original, the surnames look correct. Doing the same for given names, we look correct. The one change I might make here is this. I believe it stands for James. I'm going to add that to assist with the searches people might make later on. So surnames, given names look all right. Occupations, in those days, most of these will show up as yeoman if they're out in the more rural areas. The one exception here is Margaret. Females are very underrated and underrepresented here, so it's not unusual to find a blank for occupation. It's now necessary to condense the information in these three columns, D, E, and F, into one column for location. We'll do that with a concatenate formula. Let's see how that is created. Equal concatenate left parenthesis. We're going to join columns E and F first and then join that combined column with D. So it's going to be E1, comma, we want a space here, so we'll do quote, space, quote, comma, F1, right parenthesis. We'll hit enter to see what happens. We see here that column E, in this case cell E1, and F1 have joined or been concatenated. What exists in this column at the moment is simply the formula that does that operation. We can see up here that it remains as a formula. We'll left click on this and draw it down and release it, and it will copy that same formula performing that same operation all the way down that column as necessary. But we still have only formulas. We're going to go Control C or right click copy to copy that, and we're going to paste that information here to replace this column. We select it with our left click, we then right click, left click on paste special or select paste special, and click on values. It must be values only. That's the numbers and alphabetic characters we see in the column, not the formulas. So we click that, and lo and behold, we've pasted the result, the values, if you will, into this column. Now we can simply either clear or delete this column, and the same with this column. Now we probably should create an extra column over here too that we can work with. So let's insert one column to the left. We right click again and insert one column to the left again. So what we should have here is the information from these two columns now condensed, if you will, or joined into one column. We now want to join column D with column E. We'll use the same concatenate function. Equals concatenate, left parenthesis, we want D1. This time we want to put a hyphen between the information, so after D1 comma, we'll do quotes, space, hyphen, space, quote, comma, and E1, right parenthesis. It looks good to me. If you want to copy that down immediately, you simply hold down Control and hit Enter, and it will copy for you. Now we have to select this, copy it, and we're going to paste it special in this column. So we select the row and the cell in which we're going to start. We right click, paste special, values only, always values only, and there we have it. This column then becomes redundant, and we can delete it this column becomes redundant and we can delete that. Give ourselves a little more room here to see our joined column, and there we are. So we've successfully joined 3 columns into one to create a location column. A little bit of cleanup here. In that cell, we don't need the hyphen. We'll take it out. We don't need the hyphen here after middle point. We can take it out. And is there anything else? There are a couple of changes here we could make. For example, here, E stands for east half of that lot. Oops, we've got our caps lock on. We'll take that off. East half of lot 37. And one other change we're going to make in this column is the SR and the NR. We're going to do that by using a find and replace. Activate find and replace with Control plus H. We'll shift this over a bit so we can see what we're doing. What we want to find in this case is the SR. So we're going to look for S period R period. We're going to match the case, and we're going to replace it with because of unique characteristics in how this township was laid out. SR stands for the concession south of the slash road through Tyendinaga Township, and NR stands for the concession north of the slash road. So we are changing that to say south side of slash road. We could replace all. There's only 3. Did it work? Let's see. First concession, south side of slash road, part lot 21. We could have included a comma here. We won't worry about that this time. Let's do that again. Control H, a very useful feature in cleaning this data. This time we want to find N period, R period, and we want that to be changed to north side of slash road. Match the case and click replace all. Did it work? Let's see if it did. North side of slash road, part of lot 14. Good. So we now have this location column correct. There are a couple of other changes we want to make. We want to eliminate any periods in the data. To do that, we can again use Control H for find and replace. We simply say search for the period and replace it with nothing. And if you want to, although it doesn't matter here, you could also, just to remind yourself to use it, match the case, replace all, and the periods should all be gone. And I believe they are. Now there's one more change we need to make, and that is to convert the surnames to uppercase. To do that, we'll use the upper function, equals upper, and simply the cell designation, A1. We've changed Earhart now to be uppercase only. If we want to autofill the rest, we simply go Control Enter, and we've converted them all. need to select these now, copy them, perhaps with Edit Copy, select cell A1, right-click, Paste Special, Values Only. And there, we've pasted those values. This column is now redundant. The very last thing to this data, and we've cleaned it completely so far, is to position the page number in column G. To do that, we can simply select this and insert one column to the left and another one column to the left, and we now have the page numbers in the correct column. At this point, the file can be saved and submitted for review. Thank you.